And we are in the forest. Welcome, everyone. As you guys probably understand, it's time for another boring reseller cardio life, guys. Very important to do those lives to attract the audience who loves cardio, exercise, fitness, losing weight, eating healthy, sleeping healthy, not working, not doing anything reselling related. So that's, I think, will attract the audience most likely. See, nobody once again expected me to go live today, guys, but it's normal. It's normal situation again, guys. You know, my lives are usually spontaneous. May be it may come up in any time during the night, day, morning, afternoon, evening. So you have to be subscribed just in case, guys, because you never know what to expect from this channel. Guys, if you're not subscribed, that's not a good idea because the way I operate, as you already learned, is anything is possible at any point of time, at any day. Doesn't even matter, guys. So, welcome everyone to the forest. Beautiful forest, guys. Have to always change the camera angle, guys, because it's very impolite to start the life with just showing forest, guys, animals, insects, fish. Sometimes you have to see humans, as we actually currently are all humans still. We're not being changed to AI yet. So it's very important, guys, to concentrate on humanity. Anyway, today, guys, I'm not gonna bore you with bad stuff regarding bad reselling. We're gonna talk about other boring reselling subjects, of course. It's very important. I like to do it, guys. It actually helps, with cardio, helps with exercising. Been losing a lot of weight lately. Had to go to the doctor today, guys, because my doctor had to change medication for my blood pressure. So now it's actually considered to be different one since I lost almost 40 pounds and I'm losing more weight because I'm not eating. And I tried, guys, by the way, a couple of weeks ago, I told my doctor I wanted to try this Ozempic crap. I highly don't recommend, guys, because for me, Ozempic caused some serious side effects. I almost passed out 2 times from Ozempic, which is it causes lightheadedness, and you may pass out. I was actually good thing I was at home at the time, not in the forest doing a cardio, because if I was having this kind of side effect while walking in the forest, guys, would not be a good idea. I can tell you that. I would probably pass out, and the only help I would get is from animals who actually are tired of me. So they would not be coming to help me, guys. They were already tired of me talking about reselling to them twice a day. So they're all hiding when they see me. And they would not come to help. So if you're trying Ozempic, guys, be very careful. Ozempic is a good it's a supplement, or you can call it medication, but it causes side effects which are very bad for some individuals, as any types of drugs. So be careful if you decide to take any weight loss supplements. Make sure to check what other medications you're taking, because if you're taking medications for blood pressure, and you're taking Ozempic may cause a side effect. And my doctor warned me. Actually, he was very precise on warning me about Ozempic. He said that you will not want to eat at all at certain amounts of time. So pretty much it's actually that's what happens. If you're taking Ozempic, you don't want to eat much. So I was kind of chilling, like I didn't know like it will cause sudden lightheadedness at certain times. And at some point of time it's so bad that you don't control this. You can pass out and then you can fall. So guys, and it's very important. If you fall down and nobody's there to help you, that's when it's very serious. So be careful with those types of supplements. I just wanted to try to see what it does. And I was not kind of wrong about it. It said that it may cause you not to eat at all. Kind of disregarded that situation. But I wasn't eating much lately at all. So anyway, I was kind of thinking maybe I want to see what it does. But it actually has some kind of thing in its in Ozempic that causes your brain to not tell your body that you're hungry. So it's like you can go throughout the whole day and you're not gonna get hungry most of the day at all. And then you can go about your day, do all the stuff, spend all the energy. At least I was drinking water. It was very helpful for the body to hydrate. Because if I was not drinking water at the time, when those lightheaded effects started happening, I would have probably lost consciousness. Yes, it happens, when your body doesn't understand that you're trying to lose a lot of weight. It's trying kind of to supplement your feelings towards weight. But I was like telling my body, we have to fight back all the side effects. The body did not listen, guys. So be careful. It was not cooperating without food. Okay, let's turn it to the forest, guys, because there's one person hiding in the chat, lurking. So anyone, by the way, you want to lurk, you're welcome to lurk. You're welcome, guys, to lurk. Leave comments, chat, if you want to. I'm gonna be able to read the comments. So today, guys, I did the exercises in the morning. Now I will go to the gym again to do some exercises, even though it's kind of, I would rather actually, see guys, I was thinking about it, cross listing list perfectly is worth like $49.99 a month, which actually may be worth it if you're buying a lot of stuff like me, to list and cross list instead of manually listing it, which is not easy. So instead of that, I decided I will take, oh look guys, there's a spider. See him? So I decided instead of that, I would just go to the gym and pay the gym membership and exercise. But see, that's a tough choice, guys, for us resellers who don't make certain amount of money like me. So you have to save on other things, guys. And I actually kind of decided we'll go for a little bit, and then most likely I will probably sign up, maybe, for this perfectly. But for now, guys, I decided the gym is more important. Health is more important, guys, than live perfectly. So that's why kind of the decision was made right away, because health is kind of, you cannot compare health to paying for live perfectly, guys. It's kind of not even close to being the same kind of thing. So I decided, guys, that for now, gym membership is better. Money spent than list perfectly, because I can still list manually. So see guys, sometimes you gotta make decisions and decide what's good for you. Because if you don't, you're gonna lose money. By the way, guys, today's life is brought to you by Gatorade, guys. Very important part of working out. Gatorade blue color, guys. Let's see how many calories, guys. I forget. Gatorade doesn't have many calories, by the way. Thirst quencher, guys, as you know. Cool. See, it's cool blue. Cool blue color. 140 calories, guys, so it's not bad. I only ate one time today in the morning, guys, so pretty much it's gonna be, that's it. I'll eat a banana in the evening when I come back from walking, and eat maybe 2 bananas. So each banana, guys, if you don't know, contains approximately 120 calories. So if you eat 2 bananas, it's 240 calories, guys, which is not bad. But let's say, like, for example, since I do weights now also at the same time. So when you do weights, you're gonna lose a lot of calories. Same as cardio. When you walk for like hours. I did it in the morning today, so I walked for 2 hours in the morning. And now my evening routine, since I'm doing a live right now, I'm also gonna try to walk for over an hour, maybe close to 2 hours, because you guys know that I love to talk with no one, which is normal. But when you talk and walk, guys, you lose more calories. Believe me, I know. So it's very important part of the cardio, guys. It's walk and talk at the same time. See, that way you're gonna be losing more calories and losing more weight. It's all precise calculations, guys. You have to learn to combine those two things at the same time. So if you combine walking and talking, who is that? ABC. Oh, Matt is here. Matt, what's going on, man? See, Matt will do cardio with me. Everyone, Matt, that only knows 3 letters, guys. That's why his channel is called ABC Matt. So he knows ABC, that's it. After ABC, sorry, Matt, I know you understand jokes, man. See, guys, when you only know 3 letters like Matt, you call your channel ABC. So Matt said that he gonna learn other letters. So eventually he gonna be called ABCDEFG Matt. So in the future, guys, Matt's channel gonna be called the whole alphabet. Like, it's not just gonna be ABC, it's gonna be whole alphabet from A to Z. So it's gonna be called A to Z Matt. Right, Matt? Matt is like, what the heck are you talking about, man? I don't like this. No, Matt, I'm joking around with you. Guys, by the way, I always bring Matt up. I know, Matt, I'm talking to a lot of people, man, because nobody's watching my channel, which is absolutely normal. But I need to watch your videos, man. I've been losing weight lately and working out a lot. So I don't have time, man, because with reselling, you have a full-time job, Matt, so you don't have to, you come home, you don't have to worry about pretty much financial situation much, because you get paid at work. But me, man, Matt, on the other hand, have to worry about it, and I'm stressed, man. That's, you know how it is, man. Understanding resellers who are trying to resell 90% of the time. We always worry about finances. And people who work actually not so much, they know they're gonna get like a check or paid through Venmo or direct deposit. Matt probably gets paid through direct deposit. He's like, all right, if I don't see direct deposit on Friday evening, I'm coming to my manager. I think Matt is actually a manager, guys. He probably manages. Just move in with Archie. Man, Archie lives, man, in Vegas. Too expensive. Matt, come on. He needs to move to Cleveland. It's less expensive. Who the hell wanna pay like $2-3 million, man? Archie's paying like $5,000 for mortgage, man, for rent. Who the hell want to do that? Come on, man. In Cleveland, you can pay like 3 times less. So think about that, Matt. You can live comfortably at least instead of living in Vegas, enjoying sunshine all the time. That's why people, no matter what people choose, people sometimes choose the weather over like where over like what do you call it? Not finances, but paying for other things like rent and bills. So people will choose to live in a warmer climate and pay much more than if they would have lived somewhere in the north. So like, say, except New York, of course. New York is different, and some Chicago is different. I know they're in the north, but it's kind of bigger cities, so of course the rent there also gonna be expensive. But Cleveland, man, come on, it's gonna be like cheaper. So nobody just wants, you can see, Matt, what you need to do, man. You can move in either to Cleveland or to Virginia, man, because Virginia doesn't have a lot of big cities. So Virginia is kind of cheap, depending, maybe like only Virginia Beach, maybe a little bit expensive. But if you live somewhere in Virginia or South Carolina, maybe, even though South Carolina also depends. If you live there, man, it's gonna be less than living in like bigger cities, like in a warmer climate. You know what I'm saying? Have to have to move to nowhere, Nebraska. Nebraska is cheap, man. Nebraska, Iowa. Nebraska is actually, it, I think, if you compared Cleveland and Nebraska, probably gonna be same. I think Iowa, Kansas probably also will be the same. You know why? Because people tend not to want to move to those cities like in Nebraska or like Cleveland. It depends, man. Like there are people who live here who we have very rich neighborhoods here, man. Like people, they will like live in expensive houses here, and then they will buy a house somewhere in Florida also, and they will like go there in the winter. So there are snow. What is it called? Snowbirds, or like what is it called? I forget. So they will move. They will go for a winter to Florida or somewhere, or maybe Georgia. But most of them go to Florida. So it's actually smart, man. Sometimes you want to escape this bed, like in Florida right now it's too hot, so they will go here and spend summer in Cleveland, for example, and then when it gets to November, they will go down to Florida again and live there for like until May or April. So that's kind of understandable. That's why I know people who live Toledo. Toledo is actually not expensive either. Man, in Ohio, uh, it's not really expensive to live, man, to tell you the truth. I think Oregon is much more expensive where you live. Portland is more expensive because it's a different type of city. It's more, I think Portland is more European, like Seattle. Seattle is European type of city. Portland is kind of European architecture. Cleveland, like, it's kind of, if you talk about cities like Buffalo, New York, talk about Detroit. Detroit, Michigan is kind of, it's not really expensive now. Uh, it depends, man. It depends, as you know. It depends on like your lifestyle, your stuff like that. So if your lifestyle is not really high end, you can live in nowhere, Nebraska, or you can live in nowhere, Ohio. Because I mean, like it's pretty much like it depends on what you want to experience and what your needs are. That's why, Matt, when you work like you are in a company that pays you, you get vacation time, you get probably paid vacations, you get probably, paid sick days. So it's kind of convenient, man, to in this situation to travel because in this case you will get paid vacation days, so you're also getting paid your salary. So that way you can travel, you can go on vacations, and it's easier this way. You don't have to worry about not being able to, say, pay for the vacation, and then, I mean, you're gonna be able to pay for the vacation, but then you will realize that you don't have money to pay the bills. You see what I'm saying, Matt? You know what I'm talking about, my friend. We're, on the same page in here. That's why people tend to, in a country, when you live in a country somewhere, it's kind of different because you may pay less. But it also depends, man, because some prices right now on mortgages are very expensive. So it doesn't even matter where you live anymore, I think, in my opinion. So it just doesn't even matter, man. I think if you see, man, that's why you're doing good job, man. You're doing good job with your content. You're true, like me. You're stubborn. You're very stubborn personality, and you're doing good job being stubborn and trying to come up with different videos every week, doing it properly. I applaud you for that, man. You're one of the examples that people should pay attention, especially when they're working very hard to try to build their channel for years without like getting a lot of subs, for example, or watch hours. And the same as me, man, I don't care about what people kind of think that it's not working or anything like that. I will keep doing what I love, and I'm stubborn also. And of course, you have to be specifically smart on certain things and like do certain videos in a certain way, properly polite. In my case, it usually doesn't work out because I don't like to be, in that particular kind of situation where I want to be like be very kind or polite. I can be, of course, but it doesn't usually work out with my mentality. I mean, a lot of times I'm very stressed and I cannot, be very kind in those scenarios. I'm like, it's life. People get stressed all the time. In my case, now especially I'm losing weight a lot and I don't eat and it gets me more angrier. So on top of my stress, Matt, it's already more stress of not eating enough food because like I tried trying to adjust my body to not want to eat certain foods. And see, when you get used to eating certain foods throughout the time, it's hard for your body to adjust. That's why earlier I was talking about Ozempic, and I was on it for a week to try it, and it caused really bad side effects, man. I was like a couple times almost passed out from it because it was kind of the way it works. It shuts off your brain signal. I mean, it shuts off apparently the signal that causes you to be hungry. So it's kind of you're not hungry like throughout the day. And I work a lot and do cardio a lot, work out, and it's not a good idea, especially like when your body gets drained and especially at certain age. See, that's what my doctor said. You're not. He's like, you're not 25. You're 48. Don't forget it yet. And I'm telling my doctor, like I feel like when I do cardio that I'm at least like 23. But doctor says no. You're 48. You need to understand that draining your body at 48 is a little bit different than draining your body at 23. But still, you try your best, man. Cannot, Matt, stop and do that kind of stuff. Roman will be Hulk. No, man, I like working out, man. It's like my passion in life is like, besides reselling and treasure hunting, cardio, workouts, exercise is one of my things. Even though, believe me, man, when I was younger, I wish I didn't do certain things, like trying certain drugs and shit. And it's like, caused a lot of, I think, damage nowadays because, when you're younger, when I was in my early 20s, I think in like 21, 22, everyone was kind of back in, when was this? Like early 2000s, late 90s. It was kind of different type of generation growing. And you're that generation, Matt, the same as me. Different people nowadays. They're all different compared to the young generation now. They're all like completely different. So everyone was kind of chilling, doing raves. I remember I was a big into raves. I know, Matt, that you like techno music, and I used to do DJing in certain parties. had turntables, and I would bring my vinyl records and do all this stuff. And of course, when you're DJing, especially techno stuff, house, back in the day, a lot of our generation, man, they used to take ecstasy and take other crap. And I tried it, of course, because at the time I wasn't thinking like, oh, whatever, I'm gonna try it, and it's gonna be okay eventually, But then, I ran into issues later on in life with this crap. Of course, nowadays I wish I didn't, because now we grown up and we understand what kind of problems may come up. But before the like 21, 22, man, forget it, man. It was all everyone was trying it, and like I was like, what the hell? I'm gonna try it also, not thinking right. And yeah, and during the raves, man, especially when I went to raves, I went to a couple of raves in Canada. I went to rave in New York. It was a lot of raves, man, a lot of techno house, a lot of DJs coming from Europe, very famous DJs at the time. And I went to, at the time, it was very popular. It was called WMF. It was World Electronic Music Festival in Canada, in Ontario. And everyone was going, man, whoever loved techno, house, trance, like drum and bass, all this type of music, man. Everyone went to the rave, and everyone was taking some kind of crap, and people would take ecstasy because when you take ecstasy, you don't want to sleep, and you drink a lot of water and shit. And I remember, man, how many guys were doing all types of crap, man, and some took like not just one pill, some took like bunch of pills. They're still alive. I have a friend here in Cleveland, man, that was on serious drugs, man. And now he's a big time businessman. He went into rehab. He got out of rehab, man. He's now owning mortgage company. He's got employees. He's doing very good. Very good, in fact. He's like top producer right now in real estate. And see, that's what happens. You change. You change your life, and you kind of go back and think about what type of things were happening. But nowadays, man, a lot of people in the United States don't really follow techno music anymore, like in the past, in the late 90s, early 2000s. Now, nightclubs play like mostly pop music and rap and stuff like that. Before, in Cleveland, and I think mostly East Coast, maybe LA, California, was into dance music, techno rave. And it was a lot of nightclubs in New York back in the day that I went to in 2000s that had a lot of raves, a lot of techno music nightclubs, and it was in Manhattan and Brooklyn, and a lot of Russian immigrants, man, because a lot of Russian immigrants of that generation, they loved trance techno house music, and it was very good. I loved it too. I still love it. I still pump it because I still have vinyl records with it from UK, actually, from United Kingdom, actually. It was called Happy, what is it called? Happy Hardcore. It's called Happy Hardcore. It has a smiley face. I don't know if you remember, but oh look, Grams and Pops in the house. Roman Rave. Man, guys, I apologize. I have to read the Grams and Pops. Corey and Teresa, my favorite channel, one of my favorite channels. Guys, I don't see good anymore. I need to wear glasses, my doctor told me. I still don't. And I cannot see anything when it's close, like small letters. I cannot see shit. And that's not good. It's like every time I'm like trying to see, I have to use a freaking like magnifier instead of like normal people wearing glasses. But see, that's the thing, Corey and Teresa. I don't think I'm 48 yet. I think I'm around like 21. And I'm like upset. I'm like, how come I don't see shit anymore like I used to? That's not good. That's why I'm eating a lot of carrots, drinking Gatorade. I think it's gonna help maybe with vision. See, Corey and Teresa, what we need is actually not AI listers. We need to have AI that actually correct our vision, so we don't have to wear glasses at all. See, that's what needs to happen instead of those AI listers. I get upset because I cannot see anything. So it's very eyes are the first. I know, man. Eyes. I'm telling you, like I went to my doctor because they can't check my weight loss now because I'm not eating anymore like I used to, and I got all the junk food entirely. I'm actually planning to do a video where I will go to McDonald's, buy Big Mac with fries, and just destroy the freaking fries because it has so much fucking salt on it that I need to destroy it, guys. I need to throw it into fire and kill it, and then I will destroy buns. I may eat the patties actually without buns. That's what I usually do now. I eat, like, if I eat some kind of patty, it's gonna be inside of lettuce. And I heard that lettuce now is freaking some kind of virus in it. So I don't know. It's very confusing nowadays, guys, what to eat. It gets to the point where I'm stressed every day on what I'm gonna eat. So it's very difficult decision all the time. But I went because they keep constantly check my blood pressure because my blood pressure was out of control. And now finally, I went a couple days ago. My blood pressure was semi-normal finally because I lost almost 40 pounds, and that's why they were keep sending me to this freaking ultrasound to check the arteries because they, whenever you have high blood pressure, they constantly send you to do ultrasound on arteries to see if there is stenosis in arteries. Artery stenosis is very dangerous because what it means, all this food that you have eaten throughout the time, all the like the bad fat, cholesterol, it clogs your arteries, and you may develop. It's called arterial stenosis, which is it's like it clogs your arteries, so the blood doesn't flow freely anymore. So what it does, it causes thrombosis, which is blood clots, and blood clots are very dangerous because blood clots usually, my friend that I've known for many years, that like he was like I think 50, yeah 55. He went to sleep and didn't wake up. He died in his sleep because of freaking thrombosis. His blood clot got bursted and it went into his brain, and that's it. I know it's a very bad subject, guys, but that's the reality of life after certain age. So he was not able to help himself because even his wife could not do anything because he was sleeping, and she thought he was sleeping. And it was like an afternoon or something. He got back from work, went to take a nap, and like suddenly it happened, and that's it. He passed away in his sleep, and it was very difficult on her. I was like a couple months ago. She was devastated. She was like, they were married for like 20 something years, and he was only 55 years old. He was not old, and that's what happened. He just had some kind of blood clot, and it bursted without warning. That's what happens, they told me. Like that's why a lot of the times they will do ultrasound to see like how blood flows through main arteries. There are a couple of main arteries, guys. See, we're not on reselling subject, guys. We're learning anatomy of a human being. There are a couple of main arteries in your body. One is called renal artery, which is in the middle where your stomach is. One is called carotid, which is very important. Carotid artery, guys, to memorize. Carotid artery, renal artery, iliac artery is in where your groin is. So you see, guys, after going to doctors nonstop, you learn the names. So what happens usually is like when you're overweight, you will do blood work, and blood work will show high cholesterol. Now, there are two types of cholesterol. There can be good cholesterol, and there can be bad. If your bad cholesterol is high, that's when they start checking you for stenosis, which is arterial stenosis, where arteries of heart and other parts that they flow, the blood flows, has any, of that stenosis. And if it does, then they have to put you on very specific medication that actually will make your blood feel like thinner. It's called blood thinners, guys. See, blood. We're learning, guys. Now, blood thinners are very dangerous too because with blood thinners, everything gets complicated. Blood thinners causes like bleeding if you cut yourself and you're taking blood thinners. Guys, let's go to the water because we can't. You need to stay healthy. Neither. Guys, you're actually doing very good job with your content. I've been watching. I haven't been commenting, as you know, because I love you guys. You're very truthful people. You're down to earth. Both Teresa and Corey, very good parents, very good grandparents. Take their grandkids constantly. But they're still very young. Corey and Teresa are only in their late 20s, but already have a lot of grandkids, which is good. Taking care of their grandkids or their children. Very, very family oriented people. That's what I love. It's family oriented. See, that's God bless those people because you know all the good deeds that Corey and Teresa do to their children and grandchildren eventually will come back to them and they will be treated same way as they treat their children and grandchildren. See, that's why it's important, guys. Yeah, check out this very beautiful stream. Very cool stream. So, guys, that's what I'm saying. You need to always work out. You need to stay healthy if possible. Stress with reselling causes a lot of anxiety. Believe me, it's one of the things that we have to get accustomed to because you know it's kind of one of the things that makes me strive for more reselling and love of reselling, treasure hunting because it's in my blood. I was just at the doctor. He was like, "Would you like me to take like blood and see if you're a reseller?" And I'm like, "Of course." I just need to know what kind, like reseller type A, reseller type B, reseller type AB, reseller type C. So the doctor was kind of hesitant. He was like very confused about my ideas. But he said, no, Roman, we cannot do the reseller blood type. We can check for other things, for other, specifications. And of course, I did have to do blood work. But they have to check constantly, guys. When you have like, certain things that you're trying to accomplish after close to 50 years old, the doctors have to check to make sure, guys, that you can fly into space, that you can, walk for like 5 hours nonstop to garage sales, that you can walk to estate sales, that you can, list for like 12 hours a day without anyone in my case. So, guys, it's like constant stress and anxiety and stuff. But it's normal, guys. When we live without stress and anxiety, it doesn't make life fun. We have to constantly be anxious, and everyone is confused right now. Everyone is trying to be not anxious and be like relaxed. But in my case, guys, it doesn't usually happen. So you gotta do what you gotta do, right, guys? Because everyone is concentrating on their own thing. They need to be successful with their own businesses and hustles and grinds. Even though you know how it is with businesses nowadays. But I don't consider myself a business, guys, because guys, if I was considering myself a business like I did in the past when I had a couple of businesses, then it would be different. At the time, I had a partner. At the time, I was like not relying solely on myself. At the time, it was kind of different, and that we had employees. Yeah, so it was different type of business, but you know, I still remember it, and I still remember how difficult and stressful it was, especially as I said in my life, when running your business with your friend, from high school. It was very difficult, guys, because if we got into fight, it would completely diminish certain elements of a business. It would completely kind of destroy trust. So when we were angry at each other, I remember we tried to cool it off by having a couple of drinks. You have a couple of drinks, your mind, your brain shuts off all the anger for a little bit, but still you kind of not really like cursing at each other or saying bad things to each other, and God forbid fighting. you know, and it came up a lot of the times, guys, because running a business is not a joke, especially when you're running. It wasn't a reseller business, it was service business. Service business, guys, is much more complicated compared to reselling, because with reselling you just sell your stuff. You can do like whatever platforms you want to use. You can do live selling, you can do a local Facebook marketplace. You just sell a thing, you just communicate, the buyer pays the price, you meet, or you sell on eBay, and that's it, you get paid. With service business that I was in or before, it was different, because customers, they would contact on the phone, of course. They will have to bring their stuff in for service. At the time I was still do data recovery, but it was data recovery business. So the customers were really, you know, nervous. It's like working, say, like you work in some kind of hospital, but only with computers. So the people would call, and they would want to we had different services. We had standard service, we had express, we had expedited, emergency, and then there were raid, so like raid configurations. So all the services, pretty much person will pay the amount before. So pretty much if they wanted to do express instead of standard, because standard was free, free like diagnostics, which basically we would test for free. With express, for example, they wanted their like device to be first in line to be tested, so they would pay extra. So they'll pay like $99 at the time, so that we will take a look at their device first, and that was not refundable. So you basically, we would charge like $99 for express, and then expedited was also like another service. We will start working on the device first, so people will pay so that we can start working right away. And they would constantly call, like constantly, like I would have to be like fucking nonstop on my had a headset, and they would call and ask for updates. And it's like similar, like like in the hospital when you want to find out about your whoever's in the hospital or whatever. And it was difficult because some people would get upset and start, you know, get angry on the phone, and you had to pretty much calm them down, you know, say like we're working on it, even though, you know, it depends on the technician. He was busy with something else, and then we would hire another technician because that technician would be busy. So the more work you get, the more people you need to hire, because like service is different. Service depends on like one person can be busy doing something, so the other person can do that particular you know, repair. So that was very stressful business. And salespeople, we had salespeople. So I did sales too a little bit, but then I decided that I will do technical because I'm more a technical guy. So salespeople would have to sell the service. They would have to tell people what kind of problem they have with their device. They will have to explain like what type of services we sell. They'll have to sell the service, and also they would get paid commission. So commission pretty much depended on them. Pretty much everything depended on successful service. So if the device was successfully recovered, then the person will pay, the customer will pay, and then the salesperson will get their commission eventually, and they would get paid twice a week. So like sometimes when the service, sometimes you cannot do, like, you know, it's gonna be unsuccessful, or it's not possible to do or recover data, then the person, the customer only pays for parts. So the customer will have to purchase parts, pay for parts, but then if service is unsuccessful, they will pretty much not gonna get a refund on parts, because parts were not refundable, and they actually knew that before signing, you know. So they had to sign a contract before they approve the service, that they agree to pay for parts. They have to agree to start the service on their device. They have to agree to not confidential. Confidentiality, guys, is very important. Confidentiality agreements, guys, were very important for people who have very personal data. So the only people who will pretty much look at it were technicians. So after that, if they get confidentiality agreement signed, and if this data leaks somewhere, you got yourself big lawsuit. So that's why service businesses, guys, are very, very stressful. You know, dinner time. I gotta head, boss. Get home soon. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So yeah, the service business, guys, is different. But I was in it. I loved it. It was for a while. It was very long time. We had this business for 4 years, and then it kind of got to the point when I was very, very stressed, and I was kind of in a situation where I didn't want to have a partner because it was at the time where we had to split all the money, and I was like, man, and I didn't want to be in it anymore, so had to take the percentage and leave because everything, as I said in my previous life, everything was attorney based, so attorney had to step in and do the, it's I forgot the name, dissolution, kind of like divorce. So dissolution, guys, dissolution of partnership. So dissolution happened, and I left. And I was doing reselling at the time also, like I was selling different electronics because I have a passion for electronics more than anything. Because I used to repair electronics also, like those cassette players, VCRs. One of the Russian guys here in Cleveland, he worked with me in a computer company a long time ago. He taught me how to repair all those devices. Like at the time he was repairing VCRs back in the day in the 90s, tape decks, those reel-to-reels, receivers, all the stuff. So I was in that for many years, and I learned a lot from him. God bless him. He's a very good, educated, graduated with a degree in radio communication, guys. So he was a repairman. He used to repair radios. So he had a degree in physics and all those things that tell you what devices are bad, what elements on the circuitry is bad. So all the stuff, guys. So it was difficult at the time without specific degree to learn all the stuff because you had to learn, and he would not get really like excited if you were not learning. He would like say to me in Russian, like, you're wasting my time. I'm not gonna teach you that kind of stuff if you gonna waste my time, because he was very knowledgeable in it. And since he was teaching me just by showing things, it was very big. He's older. He was much older than me. He was like, I think I was maybe 22 years old, and he at the time was 60 something. So he was an older guy, and he knew his things. He would repair everything. He would repair. He even did repair in his house. He would be like one of those handymen. He would fix everything. He knew how to do it. And God bless him. He's a great dude. And he helped, a lot. He would do a lot of things that I would give him. Like when I started reselling, at the time, like I would find a lot of vintage electronics, like vintage receivers, vintage reel-to-reels, and I will ask him to test and if possible repair it. And I would come over to his house. I remember he had like a full basement, had a basement with all the equipment, like equipment full of testing devices, like oscilloscopes, all types of power testers, like all types of, those, what is it called, handheld multimeters, all types of devices. And he would get a lot of work from a lot of people. he was like a contractor, so they would bring him a lot of things, electronics. And I would ask him, like, can you repair this for me? Because at the time I was asking him to do it for free because I didn't have much money I didn't know how much to pay him. And then he was looking at me, young guy. He's like, all right, bring it. And he would do it for free, guys. He was like, I know you don't have much money. You want to sell it, make money. And it was kind of sounds bad, but a lot of people who are, understand the situation you're in, they'll be helpful. They're not gonna turn their back on you and say, go, fuck yourself. They're not gonna do it. And he was one of those people. He would know that I was learning. I was starting reselling at the time. So he would help me. And God bless him. I always say those types of people get a lot of blessing from the Lord, And it was very important, guys. So anyway, after that, I was selling those electronics when I started on eBay and cell phones, the cell phone accessories. And I was thinking maybe I will keep doing it, and because I love that type of stuff. And then, of course, I decided I can learn about everything else. Why not? Like some resellers do, right? And I learned throughout the years, guys, that certain things have value, that you have to be open to, resell stuff that brings you profits. So you're not get stuck. You're not gonna get stuck on one thing. And that's why it's important, guys. It's like one of the things in our life that we constantly learn is how to make our business easier to handle or hustle or whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. I don't pay attention, guys, to this business hustle difference because it's just words. I always look at it like words. Same as multi-quantity replenishables. For me, for my personality, for my understanding, of course I know what the differences are. But from my understanding, it's all little things. It's not supposed to be any fucking big deal, like someone tries to make it. So for me personally, I don't look at business hustle. I look at it this way. If you work hard and you do what you love and you're trying to make money, either working in a business hustle and grinding, it brings you money, then you're all good. You're gonna be making money, you're gonna be able to put food on the table. So the wording, the meanings of what business is, what hustle is, by either AI or dictionary or whatever textbook, doesn't make any difference for me. I just laugh at it. Sometimes it's just funny. That's why I make those live sometimes and talk about it, because it's so fucking ridiculous that it's always reminds me of a situation with someone saying they're unsubscribing. It's like they will announce they are subscribing. So it's same kind of idiotic thing. I think maybe because I'm Gen X, maybe I don't pay attention to stupid things. And some people will say like, oh, you're talking about drama all the time. It's not really drama. It's a reality of life. It's like people on YouTube make it the way where they will say something and it makes a huge difference to someone who is earning their living, either doing what they love or working with employees or working on their own. I mean, it's the same thing. You get the money either way. Everyone who is doing it will get paid in certain way, right? So it doesn't matter if certain ways how IRS looks at it or how tax companies look at it and stuff like that. It's basically pretty much your responsibility anyway to do what's legally right, how to do your tax returns. So it's each person's responsibility if that's how their businesses run, if they have sole proprietorship, or they have limited liability company or a corporation, which I had before, and I no longer have, I closed it. S corp actually is not bad. S corp, if you're doing S corp, it's actually good, but you have to have certain amount of inventory and stuff like that, and it's like money wise, it doesn't make sense for me now to do S corp. So that's why, guys, it's all the legal terminology. For me, legal terminology is always something that I don't concentrate on. I don't concentrate on this whatsoever. So for me, it doesn't matter. So the thing about it is, guys, if you love what you're doing, and most of us who like done reselling for many years have tried different things. Some of us grow this direction. Some of us want to have certain, you know, how do you call it, certain way of doing things. We're not all the same in how we're trying to run reselling. So it's like I say, like it's always up to the person, whoever is trying to run a certain business and how they want to run it, you know, because everyone is different. Everyone is trying to get out something different from what they're trying to do. But it's just, I think everyone is being, I mean, you hear it every day. We tend to, you know, everyone is watching content. Everyone is watching lives, podcasts. So pretty much every day you're in the same kind of situation where it's your life. It's like part of your life. You're living to do those things, and it brings you enjoyment. You know, you sell one thing, you sell another thing, you sell a bunch of things throughout the day, and it brings you enjoyment. You're happy. It makes you feel good inside. It makes you, like, you know, it makes you be satisfactory, right? So it's important, guys, I think, for people to just keep doing what they're doing and disregard all this, of course, stuff that relates to if you're a business, if you're not a business, if you're LLC, if you're S corp, if you're corp, all those words. Just run and do what you do. And I always say it, and it's gonna be enjoyment for you. Of course, you know, every person on YouTube has the right to express their opinions, but when sometimes, for me personally, like I said, certain things seem to be very unnecessary and they don't make any sense for my personal, from my personal view. So you can be like, you can take it as it is, like, you know, that I will be holding always my opinion on certain things that don't make any sense. And I will always be, for that particular reason, critiquing certain situations where it doesn't make sense to bring this up constantly. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, person, you know, I think I always say health is so important that other things, whenever you concentrate on everything else, it's a God blessing. You have to be blessed by God constantly and say thank you to God for waking up. Thank you for the sales. That's what I always say, guys. Always like say thank you, God, for that I had so many sales today. You know, I appreciate it. Because sometimes you have to have an entity above you. You have to be. Some people are, of course, not religious, but I am. And I always say, like, you know, bless the Lord, well, in both English and Jewish, Hebrew. And, you know, it's important for me, guys. It's in my heart. I'd be very upset if person doesn't, like, you know, specifically say things like be opposed specifically with certain, you know, evilness to certain things like religion and stuff. And I know it's like a tough subject. But yeah, that's what I do usually, guys. I will like sometimes I will say all the time, like when I eat the food, I say thank you, Lord, for providing me this food. You know, it's very important for me, for my own for my own mindset. If I don't say it, it's kind of I think I missed something, and I think it's important sometimes. I know for everyone is different, have their own opinions, but for me it's important. That's why, you know, sometimes people will think with a business mind, they will think that some kind of business terminology is very important, that people should follow that. For me, it's from the heart. I follow from what my heart tells me to do. When I, even though some people say, no, it's not the right thing, but that's how I'm built. I'm kind of built this way where I express sort a lot of things from my, you know, heart, and that's how I feel. Because I don't like when there is a lot of business terminology happening. I try to reverse it into humor because for me it doesn't kind of add up to my happiness. I cannot be happy if I constantly will think about business terminology and stuff like that, or something that someone said. I mean, that's why always, if possible, when you know, whenever you feel down, turn to God all the time. Like the God will at least somehow make you feel a little bit better, you know, because when you're stressed, and believe me, as we get older, guys, you know that you kind of think about it like, man, we all lived to a certain age and we keep living. And then you think about it like, man, that some people, like, you know, have passed away a long time ago. There was the ones that were our age, you know, and we're still living. And that's a blessing, you know. Sometimes you think about those types of things and you lose kind of a mentality where you want to really get upset or angry about certain aspects of certain businesses and stuff like that. I think the most important part for us all is to continue with what you have decided to do for your own, you know, ventures, for your whatever you do. Doesn't have to be reselling either. Investments, for example, a lot of people invest, and it's a very good idea, you know, especially when you get older. You think about maybe if I have enough money, maybe it's good to invest into something, right? But a lot of people don't, and they keep going, and God bless those people. Look at, you know, I always bring up Todd Silverhair Stacker because Todd is like my primary example of a person who has a similar mindset as I am. He is like, we're gonna be making money anyway. It doesn't matter what type of venture you have, like reselling wise. You're gonna be making money the same way as someone else will be making money on selling something else, and you're gonna find say like different things, and you're gonna, you know, list them, sell them. You're still gonna be making money. So every day passes, and it's still going, right? Thankfully, thank God it's going, and that's how you need to be positive with the approach. A lot of people work very hard, and believe me, God bless them for that because it's difficult, you know, especially like when you're trying to take care of your own self. Sometimes people don't have time. That's why a lot of people are stressed. They're kind of stuck. They're like, we need to do it. We need to do it. We have bills to pay. We're, you know, we're stressed. We're not gonna have enough money, and it's very stressful. That's how, in any type of environment, it stresses you out a lot, especially when you know that things are getting really, you know, stressful with USPS, eBay, other fees, raising fees, because I always say they don't care about you. They are companies that made millions upon millions. They have employees that get paid good amount of money. And so they don't worry about sourcing anywhere and trying to resell something. They get paid, they get their retirement funds allocated. They constantly doing something for their retirement, maybe investing. But some people, like me, for example, many others, we're trying to go day by day and sell things, find things, sell things. And of course, some big time guru, business person, or some whoever will say, well, look at it this way. You're not getting younger. So if you're going to keep doing it how it is, what is it going to lead to? And it depends. So if you're smart enough and you're going to save up some money, eventually there is going to be something to invest into, right? It's not going to be an easy thing nowadays because everything is very expensive. So people who were doing different types of ventures in the past, when times were different, they already have compiled certain amount of money that they could have saved. And then, of course, from their jobs, maybe. And then they had opportunity to quit their jobs that most likely a lot of people don't like, depending on what they have done throughout their life. And maybe buy real estate, right? And properties and rent them out. Even though nowadays, even renting out properties, guys, is not cheap because people have no money to even buy certain things, let alone travel, let alone have vacation, unless you work in a very good company that has very good, I mean, that you have a good salary, you're getting paid good, and then you can kind of go buy and still go on vacations, travel, buy things, all of the above. But resellers work very hard, and sometimes when some kind of negativity comes around to bring them down, it's kind of difficult to the mindset itself, of course, to not ever pay attention because you don't have to pay attention. But sometimes it kind of makes you feel, not bad, but it's kind of someone trying to say like, oh, it's not a job, oh, it's not fucking business, it's easy. How the fuck would they know how it is? Do they even live with you? Do they even know what you're going through every day? How the fuck would they know if it's not easy? I mean, if it's easy, they don't fucking know. So that's why it makes me angry because they don't know how I am. They don't know how someone else is. Know how much time we spend on everything, how much energy, how much every day have to be nervous or stressed to know that there were limited amount of sales. They don't know that. They just go by their mouth and they're just whatever they say is always points to how much they hate or jealous of certain things because that comes with jealousy too. They like, oh, it's an easy job. They go to garage sales, they go to estate sales, beans. I want to see that fucking hater go to the beans and try to find inventory with other resellers at the same time. I want to see that happen. See how it is, how easy will be for him when he sees how it is in reality. That's why they flap their mouth without any freaking brain decisions, any type of activity from their, brain telling them it's wrong to say something that it's easy. It's never easy, especially when you depend. 90, like I said to ABC Matt when he was earlier in the chat, maybe he's still now here. Told him, man, you got a job, you don't have to worry much. It's for his enjoyment. He does reselling like part time or whatever. Not even, he said, not even part time. I would say whatever time. So, and he does YouTube, which is great. So he knows he's gonna get paid every week or every 2 weeks, and he can go on vacation, enjoy his reselling at the same time. But everyone is different, you know. So I applaud what he does. He has a passion for reselling, for content creation. A lot of people have passion for just reselling. They don't have much passion for content creation. I also have both. I like math. I have passion for it. The way I do it is wrong, but at least I have passion. But you know, it's the thing with that. Like a lot of people do that. They have full-time jobs and they complement their income with reselling. And I think it's like maybe percentage wise is very high. In my opinion, I think maybe 80 or more percent of people who do reselling have two full-time jobs or at least part-time jobs. But when you do reselling, most of the time, which is say full-time, for example, and you have side hustles, that's much more difficult because that's where a lot of hustling comes around, a lot of moving, a lot of energy, spending energy, finding things, being stressed that you didn't find something, going. See, that's why some resellers who are doing full-time reselling, they also complement with either doing social media, they're doing content on YouTube, and they get paid for it. But not a lot of them, I mean, not a lot of people are like that either. Whoever's trying, they're trying all the time. And also God bless them for that. Because it's always have to be specific ways, guys. Cannot be certain way. It has to be specific way to do it right. And I know like stuff that how it's supposed to work, correct? You know, that's why people that have like specific approach to creating content, they do it same in the same direction. So you don't move into different directions unless you have a channel with your own personal name. It's like when you put your own personal name on the channel, then there is a possibility that the channel will be about everything. And in that case, some people will love you as who you are personality wise, because people tend to kind of be attracted to certain content. And I've talked about it a little bit before. I talked about the guys that I'm watching currently with. I love a lot of fitness channels about eating healthy, fitness. There I'm watching. I forget the name. I will make a short about. I forgot his name, but his channel is about fitness. His channel about proper eating healthy, losing calories, and he shows examples of how to live while working out and eating properly. And then he would show opposite side. He would be like, you know, today I'm gonna eat like 4,000 calories. So he goes to like junk food places, buys a bunch of burgers, and he will eat them. And then he will have to go work out because it's much easier to eat than um, than lose weight. So that's why you always have to be on that particular note. You can buy a freaking McDonald's, you know, Big Mac or cheeseburger or wherever you go to fast food. And then you're gonna enjoy it. Like, oh, it's so delicious. Oh, those fries are so delicious. So much salt in it. And then you're gonna say, oh, that's it. I am full right now. I'm gonna go to sleep. In his case, he doesn't do it. He will eat. Then right away in the evening, he goes works out in the gym. He does weights, weightlifting. He does squats. He does all the stuff. So it's gonna burn all those calories right away. So he does it that way, and he does what he shows usually in his videos is how he will, you know, travel to different cities around the world, and he will show examples of certain cities in the United States that are considered to be the most obese. And I was surprised actually. The most obese, I think it's actually number two right now, maybe number one. The most obese city in the United States is Little Rock, Arkansas. He was there actually, and he said that they have no like other places to eat in Little Rock except freaking fast food places. Like there's McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, Taco Bell. There's no other options. And Chinese, like say some Chinese buffets. So he's like, man. And then he was like looking around the city, like downtown area, everywhere, and nobody's walking. He's like, he was the only one walking. He's like, where are all the people? Because nobody, nobody freaking walks there. Everyone drives because there are like no. He said there are no walk, like whatever, like roads to walk, and people don't walk. Like it's like a freaking difference Just get out of the car and walk. You're gonna have to see if there is a walkway, and then you decide not to walk. So anyway, and then he was asking people in Little Rock, like, how come you, like, it's considered to be the most obese city? And everyone was saying because there is nothing to do in that city. Pretty much you eat and then you work and go to bed, and then you wake up, you eat, you go to work, and then you go to bed, and you repeat the process. So boring, got to go. Craig, what's going on, man? Guys, thanks for stopping by, everyone. I know it's a boring channel, guys, but thank you everyone for hanging out with my cardio walk. But anyway, so I just wanted to bring that up, and you have to watch. I will maybe do a live from home one day soon, and I will share his channel. He has got a lot of subscribers, guys. He got like over 1 million views on each video. Like one video I think went over 10 million. But the fitness stuff usually brings large viewership. A lot of healthy stuff like fitness, healthy eating, that brings a lot of views. But he also was comparing different gyms, like expensive gyms compared to cheap gyms, like where you work out. So he would do those types of videos. He is like, you know, he can eat. He was making fun, like he's like, you know, what am I gonna do? I gained like, he was like, one video he gained like 10 pounds. So he said it's gonna take him like maybe less than a week to lose 10 pounds because he's constantly working out. But he's making money, a lot of money on YouTube. So that's why you can dedicate yourself, because he's making very good money on content, since he's got over 1 million of views on each video. So he can make a lot of money on doing that content. And that content is actually good enough to make, but you're gonna have to, you know, do certain things, travel, do it professionally. It's not like you take the camera, turn it on, and start telling people that you're working out in a gym, doing exercises. It's like different. You have to come up with certain elements when you compare calories, like when you ask people, you interview people. Like the funniest part for me in one of his videos was when he came up and when he was in Little Rock, and he was asking people how many calories are in the water. And I was like shocked. None of, like 4 people he asked how many calories were in the water. All 4 of them answered wrong. One said like 10 calories. I was laughing, like literally falling. And he was like, "Are you kidding me?" He was shocked that people did not know that water has no calories. It's like he was telling them, you know how many calories are in the water? 0. And people were like saying, damn, that's why he said it's the most abused city, because people don't even know in Little Rock, the people who he asked. I mean, we cannot talk about all the people there, but people that he asked, 4 people, did not know the right answer to how many calories are in the water. So if you don't know how many calories are in the water, how the fuck would you know how many calories are in a freaking Big Mac? Of course, you can look at the nutrition facts and see, but that's how he said, like, people tend to disregard it. I mean, people just happy, you know, they want to get fast food, eat, live their life comfortably. They don't care about fitness. You know? It's like nobody's walking. I think he was actually one city, another city he was talking about was in somewhere in New Jersey, and they had only one gym for the entire city. It was like ridiculous. He was like, how they only have one gym? So nobody's working out there except some people who go to the gym. And it's like, that's how it is. That's the reality of life, guys. I think most of you knows that already. And I talked about it. Like, it's not easy, guys, believe me. When people have difficult, like full-time jobs, and they constantly work, and they constantly have like big families, it's very difficult to, you know, concentrate on fitness. it's very difficult to concentrate on health. You're constantly in a mindset of trying to make money, which is absolutely right, because you're trying to pay the bills. That's what society makes us to do. Society doesn't tell you your bills are due. Like, I mean, your bills are not due. Do whatever you want, right? So the society tells us your bills are due. So you have to constantly make money, hustle, grind, run businesses. Guys, you see, Gatorade is very important. So it's like one of those things, guys. We have to always make money. That's why it's difficult. Believe me, and I know myself. I'm a person. I like to exercise. It's just I was born with it. If I don't exercise and don't do some kind of exercising thing one day, I feel like I missed on something. Like I feel like empty. So I got used to it already from living in former Soviet Union back in the day because I was playing soccer a lot outside. Like nowadays, kids they tend to play on their tablets, on their video games, or whatever, phones, smartphones. I used to when I was born in the 70s. I used to go like in the 80s. I would go outside and play constantly some kind of game, soccer. We played like different games, like when you build like tiles and you would get hit with a ball, like similar to like I forget what it's called, that game name. So you would be like always outside. You're not gonna be even inside for the whole day. So you come out outside at 9 when you don't have school, because other times you're at school, or like at the time I did not work. I was still like 7 years old, 8 years old. So every day during summer, I would be outside like playing. Like I would come out, like wake up, I would go outside, play soccer. We had like a field, and everyone would come out. Everyone was calling each other like to come out and play because it wasn't houses, it was apartment buildings. So everyone lived around like you had a neighborhood, and everyone knew each other. And because they knew each other, because the kids were growing with each other, went to kindergarten together, preschool. So everyone knew each other by name, their parents' names. So when we would come out in the morning, we would call each other, like asking like for our friends to come out because they would be like waking up and they would look in the window and we'll go, let's go play. And they would come out and everyone would run, play soccer like a lot. Like during the day, we'd play soccer non-stop sometimes. And like different age, like kids who were 7, kids who were 10, kids who were 12, 15. We had older kids who would play like 16. They would come out much older at the time, I remember. They would be like trying to always beat up on you. They would like, they will tell you, you have to grow up and you have to fight back. So if someone beats you up, you have to fight back and beat them up. And that's how I always got into fights and would come home either bleeding or with a like black eye or something. It was always my older brother. I remember he would be coming out constantly outside because he's 9 years older than me, and he would try to fight for me. But I said no, I'll fight for myself constantly to him. And it's like how it was. You had to always defend your honor, and you fight, you get hit. I was hit a lot, guys. I had a bunch of black eyes, would come home bleeding, had to a couple times go, they had to sew me up in a hospital because I would fall down on my face and stuff. And that's what happened before, because it was different times. The kids were much stronger. The kids were much tougher. They were not taking shit. They would fight. They would not think about police coming. They would think differently. But nowadays it's different, guys, because nowadays everyone is suing you. Everyone is getting attorneys. Everyone is like that. But before, forget it. You said something to someone into their face, there was no YouTube. There was no social media. There were no fucking keyboard warriors. You said to someone, you have to defend yourself. Because that person gonna fucking stand up for himself and hit you. You're gonna have to hit back. So that was the only way to bring honor to yourself. Otherwise, you're gonna be a sissy boy. and then everyone will not be friends with you at all, like because they'll know you're a sissy boy, your mama's boy. That's what they called in Russian. Маменькин сыночек it was called. It's called mama's boy. It's like when it's the time when one kid gets hit and he will run home to his mama, say, "Mama, I was hit," and mama will come out, start screaming at everyone, and that's why those kids were called mama's boys. Nobody would deal with them because they were sissies, were afraid. So that's why, guys, we didn't do that, and it happened a lot, guys. That's why you look at me. Look at what happened to me, guys, after being hit. So I had concussion numerous times because a couple times I was fighting with older kids who were, I was like 10 and they were 16 or they were 17, and I would get hit really bad. And one time I had really bad concussion. I remember I was in the hospital with my head like in some, what is it called, gauze, because I was bleeding from my head. So it's like pretty much like how we were growing up, guys. So maybe it was wrong, but at least our generation was tougher than what's happening currently. Nowadays, it's a lot of screaming, a lot of pushing, but people are not doing stuff that they know they're gonna get, sued for and taking to attorneys. I've dealt with it here with my friend before, who actually had same situation, and unfortunately, the other guy was also mama's boy, so he took him to court because he hit him, and then he went home to his mama, and mama told him to call attorney. So at that time, guys, we decided, well, another mama's boy. So mama's boys is actually good. It's not bad. When you grow older, guys, you have to love your mom and dad. It's very important. You have to love your parents. So the older you get, of course, your parents get older. And you know how it is. The parents get older. How much time do the parents have left? So you have to always respect your parents, love them, because the parents are the only ones who truly love their kid. They will not ever, of course, if different situations, of course, come up all the time, but most of the time, parents love their kids. They will try to do everything for them, if they can, with the desire and love. But the parents, when they like pass away, unfortunately, then the kids will keep loving you, or your wives if you're married. If wife grows older with you, eventually you realize one of you may not go as far as the other. I know it's a sad subject, guys, but it always kind of stands out, and can happen anytime. So that's kind of inevitable. And it's a situation where you think about it like, man, that's kind of like what I need to do. Like I need to keep trying to accomplish things, do things while I still can, while everyone is still alive, right? Your parents are still alive. That's why I always say, spend as much time with your parents as you can, because you never know. That's the thing, guys. Because like the more time you spend with them, you're gonna be later happy to remember that you did spend a lot of time with them, and that's great. And that stuff goes away, like mama's boys and stuff, because for moms, their kids are always gonna be little kids, and for their dads, it's a little bit different. For the moms, it's like they look at their kids, even they're grown into their 40s, 50s, 60s, they still think you're like 1 year old. And it's true, because they always worry about you, always call, always ask what's happening, always stressed that having difficulties money wise. They know they cannot help you with that, but at least they're worrying and they're asking. That's one of the things, guys. Don't lose that, because when they go and pass away, nobody's gonna call you to find out, except maybe your kids. So that's why it's important, guys. I know it's a sad subject. I got my cardio. Oh, Andy in the house. Andy, what's going on, man? Damn it. Andy, we have to constantly work out, man. non-stop, non-stop, Andy. We have to constantly work out, my friend. You know, Andy, have to work out non-stop. You know what's actually good workout also? Whatnot shows. If you do whatnot, yeah, I think that you can work out by talking for 2 hours to your buyers, and at the same time do cardio. I think it's very important. I get my cardio from walking the swap meet. Yeah, man, it's good. Hey, we have to constantly walk, man. We cannot give up. We have to constantly be on the move, my friend. But anyway, guys, sorry for the very boring reseller life, cardio life again. I know it came unannounced, but with me, guys, it's normal. See, guys, I did not drink the whole Gatorade today. So let me turn the camera facing front. So with me, guys, it's normal to be unannounced. I like to be unannounced, guys. That way, maybe one person shows up. So I'd like to thank everyone who was here. You know, Andy Sameta, Craig, Langshark Picker, Corey and Teresa, ABC, DFG, Matt. Who else I missed? Let's see. Who else did I miss? Let me see if I missed anyone. Let's see if I missed anyone. No, I think I got everyone. ABC, Matt. Yeah. So yeah, go support everyone, guys. I think I'm done for today, guys, with the cardio. You know, guys, support each other. That way, at least some of us will make some money, like $1 a year. But anyway, no, I'm kidding. Support each other, you know, if possible. Do disregard certain things, of course. You know, do eat healthy, sleep if you can. Don't take examples from me, guys. I rarely sleep normally. Like, for example, after trying Ozempic, guys, for some reason it did something to me again, like to my body, that I wake up all of a sudden in the middle of the night now, like it's 3. Even though, like, sometimes I will lift until very late at night, but then I cannot fall asleep because Ozempic did something when it completely changed, like, something where I want to eat. So in the morning now, like, it's difficult for me to eat. But you gotta eat, guys. You have to eat. Eating is very important. I actually have to watch. I have to watch ABC Matt's videos. I'm behind Matt's videos, so I'll watch Matt's videos. Leave them comments. Support each other, guys. Go watch everyone. Shout out to everyone for free. Free shout outs, guys, from animals. Yes, there were no animals. No, it's funny. We actually have people saw what is it? Black bears around this area. So, guys, if I see a bear, guys, I can try to run away, but that's gonna be good for the YouTube. If bear will chase me, guys, and I'll hold my camera, it's gonna be one of the videos where you have a lost footage of Roman somewhere in the forest attacked by black bear. All right, guys, take care, stay healthy, have a lot of sales. I'll see you soon.